Hi everybody, it's Debbie O'Connor from LetsLocalise, and today I am here with Daniel Kerbel of Grange Primary School. Hello Daniel.
Hello, nice to speak to you.
How are you doing today?
It's been a long day already.
Oh dear.
It's 10:30 in the morning, but it's been a long day already. Since 7:30, been dealing with bubbles bursting, and lots of conversations and trying to plan September 21, when really we should be planning the next hour as opposed to for September, but it
Yeah,
is.
I think the pandemic has just turned everything on its head for head teachers, hasn't it?
Yes, I think for everybody, absolutely for everybody, but for head teachers, it's been a really amazing, scary, difficult, stressful, interesting, wonderful, serendipitous time. And that is because every moment it seems to be changing. At one moment, it feels as if we're glued to the news, waiting for the announcement, thinking, how am I going to translate the announcement from the 10 Downing Street briefing and put that out to my community? And I'm hearing it at the same time as my community. Right through the pandemic, it's been quite funny when people have been asking me, are schools open, are schools closed? Before, and I'm sort of going, there's an announcement coming and we're all going to be watching it on the news. Yeah, but you're the head teacher, don't you know? Oh, yes, but I don't have more knowledge than you. I'm just working on plans for contingencies. So but it's been very special to be with their teacher colleagues as well, because it's a blessing and an honor opportunity. I've seen staff absolutely be magnificent, just rise to incredible heights and not look to the left or to the right with what's going on in the press or what anybody's saying. And I've spoken to staff about this because there'll always be the criticisms, but just so much change to deal with, so many different challenges, and yet the staff have been incredible. The parents have been wonderful, just dealing with a rapid change. Like, for example, the way they drop off their kids has completely changed.
Sure.
And open and closed. And the pupils are just brilliant. They're amazing. I mean, I did yesterday, I did an online club with them. It's called a shout out to Debate Mate. And the facilitator was broadcasting from Cyprus. I was here in school, and my children were all at home, the children of Grange, all at home. And there we are, just somehow connecting. So what an interesting time.
What do you think about LetsLocalise? Do you think that that's kind of helped at all with the connection and everything?
So I need to give a shout out to Chris Dyson as well. I must say, I follow him on Twitter. I think quite a few years ago, I read an article about how he was dealing with high levels of pupil premium at his school. And that got me interested and excited. And then I followed him on Twitter and always find it interesting. And he mentioned LetsLocalise. And then I reached out to LetsLocalise. And actually, it was much better than I could have hoped for. I did get excited about the concept of bringing community together. That was the thing that got me straight away, because I'm a global citizen myself. You can probably hear from my accent that I come from far, far away. But and yeah, I've got family all over the world, and I've lived in different countries, different continents, and I feel absolutely blessed to be in London and in England, because when I was a child, I never thought I'd land up here. But even with all the global side of it, with all the human alignment, where we all feel the same thing, and I'm a great believer that at the end of the day, it's one human race, and we all believe and we all want the same thing for our children. It's a wonderful thing to have neighbors and to realize that there's a community around us and to build that community. And for a school, our vision, we say in our school at Grange Primary, we say it's not what you are, but what you can become, and to always work towards becoming that. So we say we're a school, but we're becoming, and we can become a community. We're a staff, but we're becoming, and we can become the difference makers. We're parents and carers, but we're becoming, and we can become, a support system for our children for life. And we're pupils, we're children, but we're becoming, and we can become the future of our world. So,
lovely.
So that concept of community is always there. And I love the fact that in our school we have 40 languages, and it's more than 40 languages because when I arrived, it was 40 languages, and I brought another language that I didn't realize that was in the school. And so when we did an audit, it's at least 40 languages and more. And just children from everywhere, staff from everywhere. And we're all together with this wonderful richness of diversity. And the amazing part of diversity is when it still becomes a community. And in this pandemic, I feel more than ever we've learned that although we have to socially distance, we can connect with people. I mean, with remote learning, we've been honored with being invited into people's homes. And I'm a parent as well, so I know how stressful it is, to set up a child. Where are they going to sit with their laptop? Often they're sitting, at a table. We've had a situation where the teacher was teaching and the child was totally focused on the lesson, but the parents were watching TV in the same room in the background really loud. And the teacher had to say to the child, could you please just mention to your parents if they can turn down the volume? And the child went, this is a reception child, went to the parents and said, do you mind? I'm trying to learn over here. And the parent said, sorry. And they didn't even realize they were in the shot, and they turned down the volume. But what an incredible honor and privilege to be invited into somebody's home. I always remember that book when I was a child, Come Over to My House, Come Over and Play. And it was a Dr. Seuss book, or in that series, I think it was. But that concept, and obviously I love traveling, I love meeting different people and seeing the world from different perspectives. So Let's Localize, to me, straight away, it clicked in my head, and it was like, we can build community through this. This can really help us with our mission to really become a community. And one of the highlights, I mean, many things, straight away with Let's Localize, we found people donating laptops and joining campaigns. The funny thing is, I think the other day somebody I went to your school, Grange Primary, in 1988, and I've got a spare laptop. Can I bring it into the school? Through Let's Localize.
That's wonderful.
Just wonderful. But the other thing is the other sides of it as well. So we did an inter-school quiz. Now, this was in the last week of half term. Bubbles were bursting left, right, and center. In fact, I had to go into a bubble to run the quiz for them because I think with them, yes, a teacher already, she wasn't well. So she'd already gone. At that point, there was no COVID danger, but it was just, there were just so many staff down with self-isolation, everything like that. So, but the quiz, what was brilliant is we have a staff chat group as well. So staff messaging for important messages, because again, we've had to keep our staff together, or even though they're in bubbles, and everybody was joking about the quiz and having this friendly competition amongst the staff, never mind the children.
Yeah.
And the leaderboard was so brilliant because we were all in our classrooms, and we were quite a big site in our school, 3-form entry. So it's quite big, but you could almost hear people cheering in another classroom and in our classroom. And it felt like we were together again. We were one school, even though we were all these 23 separate bubbles, we were still one school. And it's very exciting now. The next thing we're looking forward to is having a family quiz. So that's going to be an amazing thing. And all of this, Let's Localize. So the campaigns, the events, I mean, it's been incredibly difficult for us to have a PTA during all of this. But I can see Let's Localize helping us to relaunch, re-energize our PTA and bring that sense of community. So I got one other thing that resonated with me. Let's Localize has got that concept of local. And I don't know if you realize from my accent yet that I come from South Africa. And
perhaps.
I think I don't have an accent anymore.
Not at all, not at all.
But the thing is, in South Africa, we used to have an expression, local is lekker, which means, and if you speak Dutch or Flemish, or you'll recognize that word, but it's from Afrikaans. Lekker is sweet, but lekker in South African lingo means nice, really good. And local is lekker, that concept of just your corner shop, your neighbor, just being part of where you actually live. And so straight away I could hear that word, let's localize. And I'm thinking to myself, in our school, and with all my global aspirations, and I love languages, I love learning stuff, but to be a community, to be together, and to use the power of technology when we need to socially distance, to say, we will get past those boundaries, we'll get past those obstacles, we'll actually still be together. So yes, we've benefited straight away from the laptops, we've benefited from the quiz. We're at the point of doing our family community quiz, but I think we've got a lot yet to tap into with Let's Localize.
That is really lovely. Thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful to talk to you. And good luck with the rest of your bursting bubbles.
Thank you so much, Debbie, and all the best.
Thank you very much, Daniel.